Welcome back. Talking about guns, gun safety, gun control in Tennessee, the executive actions taken by President Obama recently, and a bunch of calls. So let's go to, let's see, Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
Yes, I'm calling in reference to the kids that's getting guns.
Okay.
Those guns are not taking care of them.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? Kids are shooting people.
Right.
That's exactly what's going on. The people that own the guns are the ones that ain't taken care of, not the other ones.
When you see children misusing, you had what do you see as far as that goes?
Well, that's a huge concern of ours. We talk constantly about the importance of safe storage of firearms. If you're a gun owner and you want to keep a gun in your home, we support that, and that is your right, but it's imperative that you keep guns stored properly, which is to say that they are locked up, that they are unloaded, that they're preferably in some type of a locking gun safe. This past year in Tennessee alone, we saw 10 children who lost their lives because they or one of their friends had access to a loaded, unlocked gun.
And those are horribly tragic stories.
They're horrible.
How do you legislate that? I mean, everyone would agree they should be locked up and stored properly. What do we do? What does the legislature do about that?
Well, I mean, a lot of states have what are called child access prevention laws. The acronym is CAP, and they are laws that require gun owners to keep their guns stored properly if there are children in the home, and they do attach, legal consequences if you do not. And the reason for that, nobody wants to fill jails with parents whose children have accidentally shot themselves or shot a friend. That's not the point. The point is to if there is a consequence, it's like a DUI, right? Nobody wants a jail full of people who have been convicted of DUI, but you have those laws so that people will at least think about the issue, to look inward, right? And think about the fact that, not only could I get in legal trouble if my child picks up a gun and shoots themselves with it, but, do I really want to take that risk? Do I want to bet my child's life that they would not pick up and play with a loaded gun? And, that's a huge concern of ours.
Let's go to Ronnie. Hello, Ronnie.
Hey.
Go right ahead.
All right, this is my thought about it. An unloaded gun in the house, what is it? You can't protect yourself with it, but you do have to keep it safe from kids. I do agree with that.
Right.
The thing about it is, what background checks, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Great.
Mental background check, definitely for that.
So, all right. So thank you. Thank you for that call. So we are hearing some of the callers say they're for background checks, though it's tough to get these things through the legislature.
Right.
Through Congress and through the Tennessee legislature. So you were talking about some of the obstacles you face here in Tennessee. Other lawmakers who have lost because they've taken a stance on gun control issues. So how optimistic are you? You're a volunteer. And I asked how optimistic you are, and you said I have to be optimistic. But how many years or months or whatever, when do you think you would see a change, if at all?
Well, I would say that, it's been amazing, the progress that I feel that this issue has made just in the last year. Unfortunately, I think the reason that we've made a lot of progress is because there have been a lot of high-profile mass shootings, and that is it's horrible and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that it takes those types of, what we would call a spectacle shooting, right? The kind that dominate the news cycle for several days. The reality is there are mass shootings constantly in our country. Where 4 or more people are injured or killed in a shooting incident. But it takes these high-profile shootings to really kind of get people's attention, and then you know, kind of like what happened with me, they start really paying attention to the issue, and they see how common everyday gun violence is, and you know, it affects people, and people think, you know, there've got to be some things that we can do, and so, you know, we feel like there's been sort of a tipping point, and it sort of began to happen around the time of the Oregon shooting. You know, we had a horrible summer here in Tennessee. We had the terrible shooting in Chattanooga. Of course, we had Charleston before that. We had the shooting in Lafayette. We had the newscaster and her cameraman who were shot on the air. And you know, people see these kinds of things and they say, enough. Like this is just not. This is not the way I want to live. It's not the way I want my children to live, and there's got to be something that we can do. And so we feel like public opinion is changing on the issue. You know, for the first time that I can remember in modern history, at least, and since I've been paying attention, you know, the discussion of guns and gun laws is something that presidential candidates are talking about constantly, you know, on different sides, obviously, but it's an issue that's being discussed at a national level, and that's something that we haven't seen before. So, you know, I'm optimistic that there will be some change, because I feel like people, honestly, they're fed up. They're fed up with the gun violence, and they're fed up with the lack of any kind of meaningful action to take steps to reduce it. I mean, when you see...
Well, now the president came out with these executive actions. We have 1 minute. What kind of stands out to you in the final minute about those executive actions? Is it the more ATF agents, the money for mental health? What stands out for you?
Well, wow. Well, that's sort of hard to summarize in a minute. I mean, I think, you know, it's important to note that these were executive actions and not executive orders, which is different. The terms are not interchangeable. An executive order is a law that goes on the Federal Register. An executive action is really basically a proposal, okay? So everything Obama said last week was basically just sort of some proposals for things he would like to see Congress act on.
He's going to put money in the budget, and Congress can approve it or not.
Right.
Put money for new ATF agents.
Right.
Put money for mental health.
Right.
But Congress could vote it down.
They could, and that would be unfortunate, because, you know, more money for ATF agents means more of these gun crimes and these especially these trafficking situations, and these engaged in the business folks that should have licenses that don't have licenses, that are buying and selling guns, and a lot of them are being trafficked to other states. It will provide more agents to enforce some of those laws and get some of those people off the streets. And of course, the money for mental health is something we would all support.
We'll take a break, come back, wrap everything up, be back right after this.